shows that Transnet has overpaid a staggering 509 million rands on a train deal to a Chinese rail company. The forensic report looks into Eskom's coal contracts and Transnet's locomotive deals following alleged irregularities in the awarding of Tegeta's coal contract and locomotive procurement trains from China South Rail.
Well, earlier we spoke to investigative journalist Stephan Hofstatter.
Well, I mean, this is a draft report. It's an investigation that Treasury commissioned after Thuli Madonsela brought out her report on state capture and after all the various Gupta leaks came out. And the two main focus areas are major irregular contracts in Eskom and in Transnet. In particular, 3 locomotive contracts at Transnet. The first one was for 95 locomotives, the second one was for 100, and the third one for a total of 1,064. And the Chinese company got the bulk of the third contract as well. And the Gupta leaks showed us that a whole lot of the money that was paid for these contracts went in alleged kickbacks to various Gupta link companies in Hong Kong and in Dubai. So that's the Transnet side. On the Eskom side, it delves into the detail of what Thuli Madonsela flagged as the preferential treatment that Gupta mining companies, Tegeta especially, got from Eskom in coal supply agreements and in getting prepayments for buying the Optimum coal mine from Glencore.
Well, let's go to that Eskom contract. Tegeta was awarded an 11-year coal supply contract amounting to about 3.7 billion rand, despite the firm's failure to meet specification standards. So when we're looking at a contract like that, it's not the issue of 11 years that's a problem, because Eskom does give out these so-called evergreen contracts. It's that the people were not meeting the standard that was supposed to be set for people who are supposed to be supplying coal.
Yeah, I mean, look, the technical detail gets a little complex, because we're talking about you know, the specifications of the coal and what makes a particular batch of coal above or below spec, and a whole lot of different contracts. But when you start looking at the minutes of meetings that were held and the various reports, and this is only the latest in a series of Treasury reports that looked at problems with the coal that was supplied by this particular Gupta-owned mine, Brackfontein, to Eskom, and it kept on failing coal specification tests. And despite this, in other instances, the mine would be told, sorry, you're being fined, or you can't continue to supply the coal. In Tegeta's case, the Gupta-owned mine, the contract was actually expanded as opposed to being cancelled or being scaled down. And that's the real issue. The question is, why does one particular company get preferential treatment? And this is the sort of forensic evidence of that preferential treatment in actually buying substandard coal and in paying inflated prices for it and having extensions to your contracts without going through the normal procurement processes.
What do we expect to see after this draft forensic report is concluded? Treasury said they also want to afford parties an opportunity to respond. How long do we think this will take, and what can we expect to see at the end of it all?
Well, I spoke to one of my sources close to the investigation a few days ago, and this person said that since about March, things have really picked up. They've been trying to get to the bottom of these things for the last 2 years, and for political reasons, I suppose, it really hasn't taken off. But this year they really got stuck in, and you'll see from this report there's a whole lot of new detail that wasn't in previous Treasury investigation reports, as well as Thuli Madonsela's reports. Suggestions of suspicious payments being made to executives at Eskom and Transnet, and that's why the recommendation is that these suspicious, or evidence of these suspicious payments, be handed over to the Hawks for criminal cases to be built. And I think that will be interesting. But they told me that the parties that haven't responded, this is a draft report, and several of the parties haven't responded, notably people like Brian Molefe and Anoj Singh. According to this particular draft that we have, they hadn't responded yet. So let's see what they say. Perhaps once their answers are received.
All right.